equals x squared minus 2x plus 3. This is in general form or standard form right here. And in order to graph it, we want to put it in vertex form. Okay? And to put it in vertex form, we actually use completing the square. So we have to remember how to do completing the square. It is going to be slightly different than how you learned it last time. So what we're going to do is y equals x squared minus 2x, and then we're going to put plus a space. So we only complete the square with the first two terms. We move the 3 over, so we put plus 3. And then whatever we added here, we have to subtract over here. So that way we're not changing the value of the equation. So whatever we end up adding to complete the square, we subtract it. The difference is last time we added to each side of the equation, right? This time we're adding to one side and subtracting from one side. So it's all from the same side, so we're still not changing the value of the equation, okay? So we complete the square exactly how we did before. We take half the middle number. What's half of negative 2? Negative 1. And we square it, okay? So negative 1 squared is plus 1. So since we added 1, we subtract 1 in that space. Now we have a perfect square trinomial right here. So we could factor it to x minus 1 squared. Right? Always the half goes there. Then I have plus 3 minus 1, so this becomes plus 2. So these two numbers add together. Okay, once we've done this, we review everything we did last time. Okay? So Abby, does it open up or down? Up. Good. And we have opens up. And Kayla, what would the vertex be? Patrick, what do you think?
1 and 2.
Yep. 1, 2. So we shift right 1, up 2. Okay, we are going up. So we can go ahead and do our points. Left 1, up 1. Right 1, up 1. Right 2, up 4. Okay, and on the other side. Okay, drawing our axis of symmetry. So Kevin, what's the equation for the axis of symmetry? Good. So there's one thing that's easier if you go back to standard form, and that'd be the y-intercept. Okay? Y-intercept is when you plug 0 in for x. You can use either equation, but notice if you go back up here, you plug 0 in for x, you plug 0 in for x, that goes away, and the y-intercept is 3. We can also look at our graph, which is pretty easy, but 0, 3 would be our y-intercept. And Daniel, what should we put for x-intercepts? Yeah, well, we plug 0 for y, but look at the graph. Okay, so it doesn't cross. And so if it doesn't cross, Grace, our discriminant is negative. Okay, so there's a good review of everything you guys did last time. All right, let's try one with a negative in front. So we've got standard form here, and we want to put it in vertex form. What we're going to do is factor a negative out. And the negative only factors out from these two terms. This minus 3 is just going to move over and get out of the way. Okay? So when I factor out a negative, it changes the sign here to positive x squared, and it changes the sign here to positive 4x. And then we put plus a space. The negative 3 just moves over. All right, so we take half of this number and we square it. So we do a plus 4. Now, when there was no negative in front, we could just do plus 4 here, minus 4 at the end, right? But this negative affects the value of this. So the value of this is actually negative 4. So in order to counteract that, what do I have to do here? Add 4. So because this really represents a negative 4, the opposite of that would be to add 4. All right, everyone get that? This is really negative 4, so the opposite is adding 4. All right, so now I completed the square. The negative stays in front, and the half always goes in parentheses, so x plus 2 squared. And these two numbers combine, so negative 3 plus 4 gives me plus 1. Okay, so Peyton opens up or down. If there's a negative in front, okay? So opens down. And Zach, what's my vertex? Good, negative 2, 1. So we're going to go left 2, up 1. Our parabola is going down this time, so when you do your points, go right 1, down 1. Right 1, down 1. Left 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 2, down 4. And draw on your axis of symmetry. So Max, what's the equation of the axis of symmetry? So it cuts through the x-axis at negative 2.
Yeah.
So x equals negative 2. Good. Okay, then we've got x-intercepts. We can actually just look at the graph for our x-intercepts on this one. So Cole, what would our x-intercepts be?
Negative 1, 0, negative 2.
Good job. Okay, then we've got our y-intercepts. This is another one where we can look at the graph. So Natalie, what's our y-intercept? Okay, 0, negative 3. Good. We have two x-intercepts, so for the discriminant carry, what would we put? Good. All right, there we go. Let's try one that has an odd number in the middle instead of an even number. So we don't have to factor out a negative, so that's plus here. So we always write the first two terms next to each other, put plus a space here, move the 2 over, and for this one we can do minus a space. And when we complete the square, same rules apply here. We take half the middle number, so half of 3, leave it as a fraction, you guys. So that's 3 halves, and we're squaring it. So we're going to put 9/4 here and 9/4, subtracting right there. Okay, and then we have the half, goes in parentheses here. We completed the square. We do have to get a common denominator, so we need to make 2 out of 4. So if I make this out of 4, this becomes 8/4 for the 2, and then minus 9/4. So that's negative 1/4. And now we go through all of our lovely stuff again. So Brendan opens up or down. Okay, good. And Kyle, what would be the vertex? Tammy, what do you think? So it's always opposite here. Good. So when you graph it, yes, this is a little more, like, not fun, but it's not terrible, okay? This is really -1.5 or -1.5 here, and then -1/4. So we're going to go left 1.5, down 1/4. And it opens up. So when you do your points, you're going to go left 1, up 1. So you're basically just a little bit below that line, and you're in the middle here. And then right 1, up 1. Okay. And then we're going to go 2. So 1, 2, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. So you should be just a little bit below 4, and you can match it over on the other side here. Oops. And drawing your axis of symmetry. So x graph cuts through at -3/2, or -1.5 if you want to put that. Let's see, x intercepts and y intercepts. So for the y intercept, you guys, it is oftentimes easier to go back to the original equation, okay? If you plug in 0 for x here, what do we get for the y intercept? 2, okay? So if you want to go back to the original equation here, you can. It's easier. So 0, 2 is our y-intercept. X-intercepts are going to be a little more of a pain. We got to plug 0 in. We're going to have to do that for this equation here. So plug 0 in for y. Okay, so this is a good review in case you forgot how to do this. We're going to add the 1/4 over first. Then what do? We're going to square root it. Can we take the square root of 1/4? Yes. It's plus and minus 1/2. And then we're going to subtract 3/2. So we actually get a nice number, okay? -3 plus 1 is -2 over 2. And the other one is -3 minus 1, so that's -4 over 2. So our x-intercepts are going to be -1, 0, and -2, 0. It's hard to tell exactly, but you can see it kind of now on your graph. -1, 0, -2, 0. All right, we have 2 x-intercepts, so the discriminant is positive.